Greetings from the farm today. We are pleased to have a bountiful share. We're starting with watermelon. This will be the first of a couple of weeks for sure of watermelon. We have a nice looking patch. Being the first pick, these are the seedless ones especially are difficult to tell if they're ripe. If you find one that you don't find to your liking or it's not quite ripe enough, know that we'll have watermelon in weeks to come.
And Andy, are they all red on the inside?
No, some are orange, some are red, some are kind of pink. So we raise couple different varieties, so in case one fails, we have backups. Some have some seeds, some have a few seeds, some have no seeds. And we'll keep it mixed up over the next couple of weeks so everybody kind of gets a chance to sample.
But the best way to tell if it's ripe is to taste it.
The best way to tell if it's ripe is to taste it. And we actually cut some that we rejected that were on the underripe side, and even underripe, they were delicious, and we ended up eating the whole melon. So even if it has a little bit of white, go ahead and taste it. We have a lot of tomatoes in the share this week. The outdoor tomatoes are going really well. You will notice that some of them have some cracking on the top because we had a lot of rain in the last week. We needed the rain, so I'm not complaining, but it did make some of the tomatoes crack. Go ahead and either process or freeze those if you're worried you won't be able to keep up on them. Just keep them out on your kitchen counter. Same with aromas. If you can't get to them right away, just put them in a freezer baggie. You don't have to do anything. Just pull them out and make sauce or stew or something in the winter. More garlic. The garlic again is huge, makes wonderful pico de gallo with all of these tomatoes. The only thing we're lacking for pico de gallo is the cilantro, which did not germinate during the hot, dry spell. So you might have to make a run for cilantro if that's what you're looking for. More white onions, again in pico de gallo, wonderful. The only hot peppers in the share this week are these. These are cayenne peppers, which are not especially spicy. They're wonderful when dried, and if you want to dry them, you can just put them on your kitchen counter and let them dry. Otherwise you can use them fresh in salsa. We have beets, and we did a mixed bunch of red and golden, and the greens are really nice, so you can use those interchangeably with any Swiss chard recipe. Use the beet greens, they taste wonderful. Green beans, we had a really good green bean harvest off of the third green bean planting. It's about 1.5 pounds, and we'll likely have a few green beans again next week. These are sweet. These are the Italian bull's horn style peppers called Carmen. I like to just slice them and eat them with baba ganoush or on their own or dip or whatever you'd like. The bell peppers are starting to turn a little bit, so they also have some sweetness to them. More cucumbers. This is likely the last week for cucumbers. We've had a great cucumber share this year. Make some cucumber salad or refrigerator pickles if you can. And then the little box of tomatoes that you see that look like they might be spicy are actually called lunchbox peppers. This is the first year we've ever grown them. The reds are smaller than the orange or yellow, but they're exceptionally sweet. You can eat them just like snacking peppers. So far we've liked the trial. So on the farm this week we are weeding, harvesting carrots for next week's share. I'm going to try to seed some cover crop this afternoon if all the equipment works well. And other than that, we keep plugging away before fall. So until next time, have a great week.
Beets.
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 It's what's for dinner.
That's what's for dinner. Beets. Yeah, here's beet field. So these typically we start planting these maybe in late spring, I'd say. And we plant them mechanically. So we have a machine that we put on the back of one of our tractors. And for each bed, our beds are, I think they're 53 inches across here. For each bed, we have 3 lines of beets in here. And you see, here's a line of beet, here's a line of beet, and here's a line of beet. We pull the machine down and it just drops seed, makes a little furrow and drops the seed in. And then it has a chain that drags behind to cover up the furrow so that the beet seed gets covered with a little bit of dirt. And then we hope it rains. When we weed these, we'll come through and we will mechanically weed them. So we have a basket cultivator that's set to the same spacing in these rows that the beets are planted to. We'll come through with our cultivating tractor. It's on an old tobacco tractor. It's a belly mounted basket weeder. And that does mechanical cultivation. And we'll come in with a different tractor to clean these are called the wheel tracks here. So we come through with what's called a wheel sweep to get the row where the tire track for the tractor goes. And then when it's all said and done, we have to come back and hand weed in between the beets themselves. And then when we come through to harvest, you just come down, get a beet you like, pop it out of the ground. And then we go through, we clean off the leaves that we don't like. So any of these yellow leaves like that, or any that are too tatty up front here, And then we'll get 3 of them usually, or if they're really small, we'll get 4 of them, put them in a bunch, twist tie them together, and you got beets.
You got beets. All right, so Eric, do we pull all of these beets and harvest them at once?
No, we do succession planting and succession harvesting. So we've got multiple fields of beets, and they're all in various stages of growth. But even so this is all these beds are all planted at the same time. But we'll just keep coming back to it week after week after week. And as they size up, those are the ones that we pull out. The one I pulled here is a little bit too big to put in a bunch. This one, we would typically use this for a bulk beet. So this is more of what you would find at the grocery store. So we come through, we'd cut the top off of this, and then we'd sell this just by weight at the grocery store.
Yeah. So on our farm, we typically grow about 3 different types of beets. We've got the red beet that Eric is showing you right there. And then in your share this week, you're getting a gold beet. And then the seed this year, there was an error in the seed bucket, and so we were supposed to have the 3rd variety is Kiosia, and that's where it's a striped beet on the inside, which is really beautiful. So,
But all of those seeds turned into red beets magically.
so now we've got a lot of red beets,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah, well, thank you for that excellent explanation of beets, Eric.
A pleasure.
What? I guess one last question is, what is your favorite way to eat a beet?
Oh, I'm pretty basic with it. I have 2 favorite ways, I guess, is how I usually do it. Either roasted or boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way I do it is I will cook them with the skins on. So I'll either boil with the skins on, or I'll roast with the skins off. And then once they're cool enough that I can touch, I just the skin sloughs right off, and then it's candy after that.
Eat it.
Yep.
That sounds
Maybe a little
great.
bit of salt.
Oh. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
And you can see on our right here, the second hoop house, we lost to wind about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So sun golds are pretty much failing, but that's okay. It's just, we got a good slug of them earlier in the year, but we'll have to replace that probably in the spring of 2018. So until next week, have a great week, everybody.